Have you ever wondered why some women receive multiple marriage proposals throughout their adult lives while others receive none? And even when some women have long-term partners, why are they never asked to marry? This isn't about whether a woman is beautiful or not being a determining factor. It's about the energy women radiate through their behaviors in relationships with men. Marriage is a sacred institution that carries great responsibility for the man, as he is expected to provide material, spiritual, and emotional support for his family. A man has a lot to lose when a marriage fails. He may lose custody of his children, be required to pay alimony to his wife and children, and lose the home and life he worked so hard to build. Meanwhile, women essentially have one primary role: transforming their house into a warm and inviting home. And in the rare event of a divorce, their financial losses are usually less severe. That's why men are very cautious when choosing someone to marry. If you are a woman in a long-term relationship and your partner still hasn't proposed, or if you're single and your suitors seem uninterested in a serious relationship that might lead to marriage, stick with us. Chances are you're unknowingly emitting certain energies or behaviors that cause serious men to steer clear of you. Now let's dive into the 6 behaviors that prevent women from getting married. The first behavior that serves as a red flag, causing serious men to run away, is having promiscuous friendships. There's an old saying, "Tell me who you walk with, and I'll tell you who you are." Ladies, men take that literally. This isn't about being prejudiced by judging people based on their past, but rather about being cautious. When you're looking for a partner and you go out to parties with friends who are divorced or promiscuous, any man who approaches and notices that one of your friends is easy to bed will end up labeling the whole group as promiscuous. And if he's interested in you, he won't take you seriously. He'll be with you only for sex, not to eventually propose. We men are programmed to categorize women into 2 groups: those for serious relationships and those for casual sex. Men expect one thing from the women they date: don't be promiscuous, in other words, be faithful, plain and simple. When we see that you don't adhere to this, you're then placed in the casual sex category. So if you're single and you plan to marry and build a family, you should leave behind all promiscuous friendships, even if those friends are family members. You need to stop hanging out with them. The second red flag behavior that makes men less likely to propose is not introducing him to your family right from the start. If your parents aren't around, you should introduce him to your uncles or grandparents. This might seem trivial and simple, but it sends 2 important signals to a man. First, that you have a family who cares about you, and second, that your relationship will be scrutinized, especially by the older male family members like your father, uncle, or grandfather. We men can be possessive and territorial, so when you, as a woman, introduce your boyfriend to the older male members of your family, namely your father, uncle, or grandfather, he knows he's stepping into someone else's territory. As a result, he'll treat you well and with respect, and the likelihood of him proposing increases exponentially. So if you're a woman who wants to be proposed to, take note. Be sure to introduce your boyfriend to the older male figures in your family, such as your father, uncle, or grandfather. The third behavior that represents a red flag, causing men not to propose, is not speaking openly about your partner's intentions regarding the relationship. We men are very slow at processing and interpreting the information around us, so you as women must clearly express what you expect from the relationship. We tend to miss subliminal messages because we're objective and direct, while you as women often prefer indirect and subjective communication. Because we operate on opposite communication poles, you should sit down with your partner and openly discuss what you expect from your relationship. This is one of the main reasons why many women end up dating for a long time without being proposed to. So if you're a woman who wants to be proposed to, pay attention, talk openly with your boyfriend about your expectations. The fourth behavior that serves as a red flag, preventing men from proposing, is not knowing how to add value to your boyfriend's life. Unfortunately, with social media, many women believe that dating is all about sex, expensive restaurants, and luxurious trips, treating dating as an end in itself. For them, sex is all they have to offer, and they consider it extremely important simply because it's what they provide. Here's some advice. If you want to stand out in a man's life, do what other women don't. For example, if he runs a small business and you have accounting skills, Offer to help him manage his company's finances. If he loves going to the gym, prepare his pre-workout supplement for him. If he owns a house, take the initiative to clean it and cook him a meal. It's these small, seemingly trivial things that make your boyfriend start to see you as the woman he wants to marry. So do you want to be the one who earns that yes? Moving away from the notion that dating is just about sex, expensive dinners, and trips is essential. The big mistake is not adding value to your partner's life. Do what others don't. Small gestures can transform you into the indispensable woman for a lasting relationship. Therefore, if you're a woman who wants to be proposed to, be aware and add value to your boyfriend's life. In other words, be a helper and an assistant to him, not an obstacle in his life. The fifth behavior that serves as a red flag, causing men not to propose, is acting as if you don't have a boyfriend. Unfortunately, with the rise of women's empowerment, many have lost sight of what it means to be a true lady and no longer know how to show proper respect for their partner. Here's some advice for women. If you have a boyfriend, you should respect him as such. Nowadays, we see a significant number of committed women going to nightclubs and behaving as if they don't have a boyfriend. It's no coincidence that the Bible, specifically in Ephesians 5:22 through 23, clearly states that a wife should respect her husband because God knows that no one can truly love another without showing proper respect. So if you're a woman who wants to be proposed to, take note, respect your boyfriend. There's nothing worse for a man than a woman who disrespects his authority. The sixth behavior that serves as a warning sign and prevents men from proposing is not allowing him to lead in the relationship. Many women, influenced by the drive for empowerment, gender equality, and feminist movements, try to assume the man's role in the relationship, not allowing him to take the lead. Consequently, he begins to feel diminished and distances himself from the relationship because he doesn't feel valued. Therefore, if you ever have an initiative to do something, talk with your boyfriend and ask for his opinion so that he feels included in the decision-making process. Only then will he feel important in the relationship. So if you're a woman who wants to be proposed to, remember, let your boyfriend lead your relationship. And that wraps up our deep dive into the 5 reasons women remain single. I hope these insights spark some new perspectives for you. What do you think about these reasons? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing your thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.